Welcome everyone to Sunday Fuel, where we go over the sacred profit trades from the week before and the week ahead. This show is brought to you by Herman Miller because why keep your money when you can have a better chair, a better bed?
You like your Herman Miller, Tom?
I love my Herman Miller. I did get it secondhand because I was not going to spend $2,700 for a new chair.
But now that you've tried it, you're like, "Okay, well, I see why somebody would spend."
It's worth $3,000 for this chair. I sit in this chair and you're like, what kind of chairs would I sit in before? I feel like I feel like I was sitting on the ground on rocks before. And so I was like,
Yeah,
"Here's a chair." I was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
100%.
It also makes me think that clearly we're not of this earth naturally, because there's no position that I'm in that's comfortable, less there's a $3,000 chair that I'm sitting inside. So clearly, I'm not a rabbit, I'm not a bear, I'm not made for this planet, which makes a lot of sense. Peter, last week on Sunday Fuel, if
Yeah,
you remember, we were at 78,000 on Bitcoin, falling and headed lower. We headed all the way down to 74.
the red wedding.
Do you remember what your boy, Sacred Prophet, said was likely to happen? Hmm.
Well, counter to what everybody else was saying, which is it's gonna go down, it's crazy, the sky is falling. You said we'd go up to what, 80.7?
Yeah,
What
well,
was it?
the weekly trade was that we're going to head from whatever 70, it was 78. Actually, let me pull up the chart here. One second. Let me just show. I mean, I just love making these
You can
victory
pull up
laps.
your tweet too. While we're getting that set up, remember everybody, if you want to find out Tom's trades, you don't have time to watch videos. Sacred Profit on X, Sacred Profit. He puts out all of the daily and the weekly trade. So definitely a great resource for you.
Well, I was only doing that last week as an experiment.
Oh,
I got some feedback, and what people want is the chart with the levels on it and
ah,
pointed out the trades on the chart because it's hard for them to remember through the whole thing what happened. Um, and I think what I'll be doing is sharing a permanent chart that people could go reference to, and I'll just put out the key, like, interesting moves if it moved up by some large amount or significant, because some of these moves at 1%, 2%, and maybe people don't really care. I certainly don't want to have to sit down on my chart and always remember every single time. And it was just a practice for the dashboard that's going to be coming where you could have all this automatically anyway. So for now, definitely go out for the tweets. I'll put out the weekly tweets for sure, and I'll point out some daily tweets as they come along. But if you remember last week, and here, this is our bar for last week. We had we were at 78 and falling into it, and I was saying that the target for that week would be this level over here at 83.2. 83.2. I also mentioned that during the first day, there's likely to be a dip that would be the actual better entry for that weekly trade. This is something I've been noticing again and again, that the first day when you're in a bear trend and we're moving up for a bounce, that we get a dip. Actually happens the other way too. On a bullish, it'll dip, it'll spike up and then fall down. And those are the great entries. And in fact, if you don't get that entry, sometimes it's best just to let the whole day run out and wait for another entry in. But anyways,
so are we
that's what
talking about the previous week now? Is that what we're doing?
correct. This is the previous week. This is the week we just came up. That's everything from over here all the way up to today.
And what was your success rate there? Or was it accurate? Not accurate?
Like, do I have? Let me see here. So this is the this is the week. This is the last one I just did today. So basically, every one of the levels was successful. If any of these weren't successful, you'd see a red X. There's no red X's, Peter. We got exactly where we needed to go. And so we got all these moves, these 4% moves. So that weekly move over here was a 7% move up to that level. So that's a 350% gain from where we from where I entered, which is pretty cool.
And with 50x, that can yield a
No, that's what it is. A 7% move will yield you 350% gain on one position.
wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know that.
just
Yeah.
amazing. I think in total, with my trades, I did something along the lines of 900% in total gains per position, which increased my portfolio value by 25%. Which is something I'm trying to get people to really understand that the reason I'm doing the high leverage trades in the way that I'm doing, I'm trying to get the maximum amount of leverage that doesn't liquidate me out too often from my position, but that makes it so that I don't have to put as much money down. So, for example, I don't have to do 50x. I could do for the same amount of money gain, I could do 25x, right? And my the moves can suffer double the drawdown, but then I have to put double the money in order to make the same amount of percentage gain. That make sense?
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't like those things because I'm putting double the money down, and then if I do get liquidated on the trade, I have to make double the move back that I would normally do in order to get back to break even. I don't like that. Whereas when I'm doing the trades at 50x, I get to put 2.5% to 5% of my portfolio down at a time. And if I lose that two, three times in a row, I'm fine with that because these trades that move up, 5, 6, 7%, it just completely recovers everything that I've lost and more. You know what I mean? Plus, the idea here is that we're always trying to get the perfect entry. We're trying to get as good of an entry as possible, and because of that, especially at the beginning of the week, sometimes you have to try 2 or 3 times to get the perfect entry in, and being able to put that in at 2.5% at a time in my portfolio makes me sleep easy at night. I'm not sitting there with a large amount of my portfolio at risk because I don't know where that perfect entry will be.
And you've said that. You said that if you can't sleep at night, you've probably put in too much.
For sure. If you can't sleep at night, you put too much. Well, if you can't sleep tonight because you're worried that your position will fail, you've put too much in. And what I love about the way that we do our trades is that we know what our profit target is for every single entry we put in. So I know that this weekly trade is a 7% trade, and if I could make 350% on that trade, then I know I could try. Let's say if I tried up to 4 times and the fourth time succeeded, well then I'd be breaking even. So I can do 2, 3 times and still be happy with the trade.
Right.
Okay. So that was the weekly trade, and so we started off over here. We headed even lower, just like we said. Didn't to freak out, and this was a great entry in order to get up to the weekly level. Even with this dip afterwards, it didn't really matter. Actually, what I did was sell off over here at the daily level, took a short down here. I covered over here, and so when it got down even lower, remember, folks, this is all near our 74 level, all near our yearly wave that we've been talking about. So I was perfectly fine with taking another position over here. Actually, I took it a little bit higher. I was fine taking another position here because I knew somehow the trade suggests that we should get up to this level. So when you're normally trading and you don't know where these levels are, you think to yourself that you're just like FOMOing into positions. You're just getting ripped up and chopped up down here, and you're putting stop losses and you're increasing your position and you're trying to recover. It's like a nightmare. Whereas I know I can just put a trade in over here, anywhere in here, and I feel comfortable because I know I'm probably headed up towards over there. If I lose that one position, fine. I lose 2.5% or 5% of it, fine. And if I do gain, I get 3 times of it back. So I'm fine with taking one trade, but then I only take one trade. You don't go in here and you're like, oh, you freaked out, and you get liquidated, you get freaked out, and you keep trying again and again. That's straight to the poorhouse. You put the one trade on. If it succeeds, fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, what I thought was interesting, and this happens again and again and again, and after years of doing this in the markets, now I finally understand that I can count on these things. This, my friend, this candle here was the reversal of the tariffs. Right. Well, first we have here the tariffs.
Well, the pause, Tom. 90-day pause.
Sure. Well, the reversal of the effects in the market.
Right.
So at first, when we're over here, the question is, this is the 2 weeks ago. People were all set. We're headed bullish. We're headed up. Uh, you know, uh, it's going to be blue skies. And I go, no, it's not. The chart suggests that we have not gone and cleared down the 74 level down here yet, which I've been hammering again and again and again. We haven't cleared it. So I know that somehow we have to get down over here. I don't know what it was going to be. It turned out to be Trump put it on the tariffs, right? So that happened, and boom, we head lower. And we didn't just head lower randomly, we head to the zone down here. Okay. Why did we double touch the zone? Because we didn't actually clear our 74 level, right? Let me just actually pull this up on the chart so you can see it a bit. I'll just make it for the weekly. So again, this is for last week. We came down over here. And when we got over here, people thought, okay, this is the bottom, right? But we know that that's not necessarily the case because the 74 level has not been mitigated. There's still this zone, this gap here. So I know somehow we must get back closer to over here. It doesn't mean we have to touch it. Why? Because our yearly wave is getting close to crossing over it. And when that crosses over, that also counts as a mitigation. So it's getting close. But I know that somehow the price is going to be pulled back again. Plus, we're in a downtrend anyway. We're in a downtrend. So when we got back up to exactly the daily VWAP level, which coincides with our downtrend, we reverse and we head back down to this area, right? And so to me, it
Right.
was like, okay, here I'm more comfortable in getting in because I know because I know that we're likely going to head up to over here to this weekly level, which means that this yearly level is going to get pulled up. And if we stay above over here, it means like, and just as we're seeing basically today, our yearly wave is crossing over, mitigating that level, the 74 level, right? We're at right now 74, 145 on that yearly trend. So essentially, that lower level has been mitigated.
Is that official?
It's yes, it's official. I mean,
Mm,
it's as official as I'm gonna get. Like it'll be more later on, but it's the thing is, it's been mitigated on a bunch of other Bitcoin charts
right.
for different exchanges. I follow the Bitcoin one. I have done all my studies on this, my analysis on this. That's where I've been building my indicator. So that's the one I follow. And I mean, unless we fall literally down to over there today, which could happen, I would say it's mitigated, especially since we have our green trend over here.
Right. Wow.
So
So
this is
that
since we got one, two, two, three greens. The chances are we're going to get a red and or a yellow, and then a fall down. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We don't guess. We just look at what the trades say. So last week, so we moved up over here. So this move up happened because there was this idea that the Trump tariffs were going to be reversed, and this was like in the stock market was like a seven sigma move, just this massive move. And you think to yourself, who could ever see this coming? Well, we can see it coming. We don't know what will cause it to occur, but the charts are suggesting that this is what will happen. This is what to where the price will go. And this is what I find fascinating. These sort of things, these we never could see it coming. This unbelievable, what a credible move. I've seen again and again and again. I remember the first time, like I really was like, okay, maybe I should be counting on these. Was when Gaza attacked Israel. When it did, the charts were suggesting that something was going to happen on October 7th around that time. I was like, what's going to happen? Let me see if I can actually see it here on the chart. Uh, Shoot, I forget. When was their 9/11? What year was it? I'm going to pull that
October
up quick
7
here.
was last year, no? Hang on, let me check.
I thought it was the year before that.
It seems like forever.
I thought it was 2023.
It took place in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was around over here. So I remember thinking back over here, I didn't have all my tools that I have right now, but I did have some. And I was suggesting that the price should get down to this level over here. But it was just this up move that I was just missing, this entire up move over here. And then the charts were suggesting that this is where we would go. I was like, what's going to bring us down there? Oh, it turns out a new war in the Middle East. That'll just bring us right down to that level. And then once we got down to that level and got it mitigated, then the charts were suggesting, well, now we're going to move up from there. It's like, what's going to make us move up? But sure enough, we skyrocketed from over there. Where did this wick go, Peter? Where did that wick pop up? This massive wick, this unbelievable move to the freaking VWAP level, the weekly VWAP level. Could always count on these things. Anyway, so these things like happen again and again and again and again. A tweet from the Federal Reserve, a thing from Elon Musk, explosion in Turkey, China, whatever. COVID even showed up on the chart like this. Um,
So
so
what
just find
happens first? What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
somehow the aggregated knowledge of the charts paint the picture that something should occur around a particular time. So it's almost like the chart comes first and then the event happens. You just don't know what the event is. That's
Hmm.
why I always say I can't tell you why, but I can tell you when, where, and how. And that's all I can do. I'm not perfect.
All right.
So after the weekly trade gets done, folks, now our anchor, our certainty for the week is done. Right now, we have to deal with walking through daily levels, and so that's why one of the reasons I've been doing the experiment of the daily levels, which we saw last week, where after this was done, what was the level I called? The level I called for was over here. From over here, the level I called was over there. So that was what was it? That was April 9th to 10th. Let's see. April 9th to 10th was
78.5.
here it was. Weekly trade completed. All right.
Hmm.
So weekly trade completed. I'm only a vessel for truth. Do not worship me, and I still hold to that.
I'm only a vessel of truth. Do not worship me.
Yeah, I'm just a vessel for the truth. I just channel the information. I am not. I'm the way. I'm not the destination. All right. So what I was saying is that after that, the weekly trade things get dicey. The 74 was never mitigated by the price, and our yearly wave is $200 away from crossing it. So there's still a small chance that we revisit the lows, but we didn't. The next unmitigated level is 96.4. That's the weekly level at the top. Bitcoin could rise 15% in the next week or two. Yeah, so that we were talking about. So the next level we talked about was the 78.5, which was right over here. 78.5 is a level I was calling for on April 9th. Okay. That's a 4.5% move down. So that's pretty juicy, right? Because that 5x leverage, that gives you 225%.
And you
And
make
where did the price
money.
go?
You make money going up or down or sideways.
Or sideways, exactly. The price went directly there. Did not pass go, did not collect $200, exactly to there. Okay. I'm just bringing this up to say the chart tells you what it's going to do.
Mhm.
The chart tells you what it's going to do.
Well, your chart
After
tells you.
that, after that, the next level up for the next day is over here. This level over here. Okay. So this level over here was 80. What was it? 80.7. What did I say the next time after that was cleared? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. So
Well,
this level here is 80.7 was similar to one before. So I didn't bring it up again. Actually, I didn't tweet every single one of the days this week, but this level over here, this top level over here of 85 point, what was it, 85.3 is what I called for? 85.3, 85.3 was a daily level being called for. So I'm just trying to see it over here. I'm seeing, oh, there it is. Inside of my notes, so when we get past the weekly one, because it's not as certain, I was just talking about where the bias was. The bias was towards 85.3, which is exactly where we're headed. 85.3 is this top level over here. It's a daily level that was unmitigated. And so I actually held my short from over here. Sorry, my long from over here all the way up over there. The reason why I don't sell, like, my target was that, even though the next day this level showed up, there's no real reason for me to take my profits over there because we're moving up from underneath.
mhm.
Remember? So if it came back down and bounced on that level, I might take out I might even add to it because now we're in green levels. So as long as now I'm in the trend direction and I'm headed towards what is the nearest level up over here, there's no real reason for me to close my trade. I could just keep it, hold it all the way through, which is what I did. I ended up with a 425% a profit getting up to this level. Then after that, I took a short over here. Yes, I took a short from over there. And the goal is the reason I'm taking a short over here is two reasons. I don't know, Peter, if you can pick up on this chart, if you're taking a look right now. Why do you think I would take a short from over here? And to where do you think I would be taking the short?
Because it dips before the weekly trade. and you would take it
Well,
to
that's what, yeah.
80
So there is
82.
a bias that we're gonna dip before this weekly trade, absolutely. What
And
other
you
reasons?
we cleared the top level.
We clear the top level, so there's no more nearby levels to call. There's no nearby levels to call, absolutely. And then we also have this level over here. This is mitigated, was mitigated over here, but this
Mm,
level wasn't mitigated.
right,
So we know we have to get back to there at some point. And then once this day closes up here, this level gets created, and that's also unmitigated. So the bias is towards this and then towards this to clear it. So I take my short over here. I come down here. I don't take a long here
right.
because I still have this level to clear. I want to take a long over here. I have long order set up over here. And my short to cover over here. If I'm wrong and it bounces from over here up and I lose that, fine. I just lose my actually I put on a full position. I just lose the 5%. No big deal. But if it succeeds, then I'll be making 3%, which is 150%, right?
With
So
50x average or 25.
at 50x leverage, only 50x leverage I'm doing. So that becomes a great trade if this completes, and if not, I just lose my optionality. The thing is, we can't bet when there's no nearby levels. We can't bet for that. Always aim for the nearby levels. These are all nearby levels.
Right.
Okay. So now that was for the weeks, the trades for last week.
All right.
For
Just before we get to next week, I want to let everybody who's watching know if you want to get these indicators on your charts, they're available for free. Um, they're not officially launched yet. I think you have to contact Tom, Sacred Prophet, on X, and I think he'll give you access to them if you're a good boy
right.
and a good girl. I don't know what the criteria are. They're completely free, and they allow you to see the charts like you've never seen before. So stay tuned. We'll
You
talk
do have
more
to sign
about.
up as an affiliate for one of our exchanges,
Good,
but after that, they're all yours.
awesome. All right, Tom.
As long as you're trading. In fact, at some point, if people are not going to be trading anymore for it, they're going to lose access. But
Why?
let's leave
Why?
that threat
Why
for
would
later
anybody? Why would anybody want it? And if they're not trading?
because they don't like money. They don't like success.
Okay,
Failures. They're
I see.
quitters.
All right. Okay, I
I
wanna
only
know
want
what's
acolytes.
I wanna know what's coming in next. So the upcoming week.